Let's talk about networks. Networks, channels, campaign types, basically the different types of ads you can make in Google Ads. Google Ads is a full funnel ad platform, so you can do everything from very cold traffic, top of funnel, trying to reach new eyes. You could do impression bidding, conversion bidding. Again, we'll go more into that stuff later, but you can do a lot in Google Ads. And it's kind of the double-edged sword of the platform because you can do so much with it, but the amount of time it takes to learn how to be effective, just the amount of accounts you have to work on and practice content strategy, it's a lot. So it's really common that most people use Google Ads for search and e-commerce shopping, and that's what this course is about. Again, I'll make more uh, material about like some of the other networks, but high level, I just want to introduce them. So the networks, the channels. If you just come to add because this account doesn't really have anything but one search campaign in it. So if you come to filter, you could see all the different types of campaign types. So search is basically the big one, and Google has a lot of information in their documentation, support.google.com. So if you're ever like trying to find some information on your own about this stuff, you can just come to Google, type this, and then basically type your keyword with an in-text search operator. And so basically site colon support.google.com, in text, put your keyword. Oh, I type networking, and you'll be able to find what you're looking for. It'll just filter the search results on the support site. But anyway, back to the search network. If we Google like a product term like running shoes, you're going to see a couple things here. First is the shopping ads. That's, again, not this course. I'll go into that later. And then down here, all the search ads, and then the organic listings. The map pack is for local services. Again, we're not talking local. This is all e-commerce. But, some stores and ads occasionally show up in here too, and once you click inside. And those are actually search ads as well. But basically, search ads, these are organic. These are starting to be new. So we have two networks here right away. Search, which is basically here. Shopping, which is here. There's different strategies and approaches towards each of those. Display. Now, the display network is really interesting because this is basically banner ads on websites all over the internet. So we can pull up their documentation real quick. There we go. And it's, look, I mean, a group of more than 2 million websites, videos, apps. So there's a lot of stuff in the display network. And essentially, pretty much any site that has Google AdSense installs in it. So with banner ads, like the display network, there's a supply side and a demand side. So the supply side is publishers that want to monetize their sites by having ads on them. And then the demand side is us buying up that inventory. We're demanding inventory. So some pretty interesting concept. Years ago, this was called like programmatic. It still is, but I mean, a lot of things have just gotten so much more simple now, and it's called the display network, banner ads. Pretty much everything digital is programmatic now, so the term has kind of changed. But so video network is going to be basically YouTube, but it's also going to be the display network. So videos will actually show on the display network. So that's why this is a campaign type, not necessarily just a network or a channel. And there's it's a little bit complicated if you're new to this, but basically, like, if you want to serve on the YouTube channel, use the video campaign type. If you want to serve videos on the display network, right, that channel, you can use either of these, but it's most common that you would just do it in display. But this can be done here too. So there's like a lot of different ways to structure accounts depending on what you're trying to do. App install campaigns are something that I don't do in e-commerce. Smart campaigns and performance max are very interesting. So smart campaigns launched years ago, and they were basically a campaign that you could just set up. They actually came paired with a smart account. So what you had was like your expert mode, which it's called now. I don't remember what it was called then, but essentially if you were like a small brand or a local service provider and you wanted to try advertising, it was easy to launch a smart campaign. It ran without conversion tracking. It would basically just optimize for significant events, whatever those were. And it was just like a 5 minute way to get running with Google Ads. Um, I still see these pop up sometimes, even in e commerce stores, and they usually just spend like crazy and don't report well. And now they're tied to conversion tracking. They didn't used to be, but nobody runs those anymore. Performance Max is like the 2.0 of that. And there may have been other attempts at something like this. I mean, I've started doing this. When did I run my first Google Ads? Like 2014, 15, something like that, when I was a personal trainer. And I got really involved in ecom. I think it was 2018 or 2019, something like that. So, and that's when I started getting a lot of Google Ads experience. But the smart campaigns, like I don't know, it was before that, but Performance Max now basically blends all the channels together on an objective, which could be, it's usually conversions in e-commerce. And it runs on video, on display, on search, on shopping, kind of like Smart. I don't know if Smart did all that before, but PMax does. And yeah, there's a lot of controversy. I don't want to get into this course, but at this point in time, it's kind of a debated technology. It's still pretty new. Anyway, moving on. Then there's hotel and local. I don't know what these are. I don't do this stuff. I don't do apps. And then the discovery is very interesting because this is basically the same thing as the display network, but on Google owned properties. So you're getting your banner ads, but the supply is coming from Google instead of people who have AdSense installed on their site. So these discovery ads will show up in Gmail, they'll show up in YouTube, they'll show up on anywhere there's a Google Discover feed. I still don't really even know too much about what those are, where they show up. I have an Android phone. I don't see them very often. I guess like some of the Google apps, they have the feeds show up, maybe on Chrome too on mobile, but so that's like the feed placements, and they're pretty good. I actually do like Discovery, especially for targeting. But again, I'll make another training on that another time. But so there's a lot you can do in Google Ads, and this entire course is going to be just dedicated to search. So I'll make others for the rest of these later. They all require different strategies, but search is what we're going to be talking about in this one.